Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, do it to subscribe. So it's no longer a new start. We are on a 30 days challenge and today is day 3. So basically on day 3, the one we talked about what you should understand in as a beginner in photography. Then day 2 went furthermore to approach the two types of camera, which is the DSLR and the mirrorless camera. And today, day 3, we're not talking on our lenses. So what are lenses? Lenses are seen as the eye of the camera. So those are lenses, and they are different ranges of lenses, different sizes of lenses. We have your 28 mm lens, you have your 35, you have your 50, you have your 80. And basically in this video, I'll be explaining to you the effect and the functions of these 3 different lenses, which I'll be explaining. The 35 mm lens, which I cannot show you physical. I'll be showing you a picture of it now as it's showing on the screen. Then I'll be showing you the 50 mm lens, which is this lens. So this lens right now in my hand is a 50 mm lens. This is a 50 mm lens, and we have also here with me an 85 mm lens. So these are camera lenses. So as a beginner, you're wondering what is this used for? I will explain now. Lenses are what change the outlook of your pictures. So you should understand what are the functions of lens. So you should understand what are the functions of lens. For example, the 35 mm lens. The 35 mm lens is good to take your environment picture, and it is good for street photography. So it is good to take environment portrait and street photography. So why is this? Is that this lens, it functions as a wide angle lens. When I mean wide angle lens, it can capture wide area. So you don't need to like go far to get shots. So how lens work is that if you are using an 85 mm lens and I'm standing here and you are standing here, the closeness is very close. I don't know why I use that word, but while taking your shot, it's your subject is closer to you. But when using a 15 mm lens, I are standing at that same point, the subject is far away from you. And mind you, there are different type of lens which we have our zoom lens and our prime lens. Our zoom lens changes the focal points when you zoom in and zoom out, while our prime lens is a fixed lens. So if you are using a prime lens, an 85 mm is an 85 mm, it doesn't change the focal point when you zoom in and zoom out, but a zoom lens does that. So let's go back to what I was explaining earlier on. So the position of your lens is changed if you are using a prime lens. So the position changes when you switch from a 35 to a 50 to a 80. So the 35, your subject is far away from the camera and you can see where the environment. So 80, your 50, your subject is now closer to you than the 35, but you can still see environment. But you see the 85 mm lens, you can see less environment, more of your subject. So the 50 mm give you a natural looking perspective of your subject. So let me advise that if you are starting photography, it is advisable that you get the 50 mm lens. Why do I say this? It is very important and it is needed. You can use a 50 mm lens anywhere. You can use to cover events, you can use to cover portrait shoot, you can use to cover your wildlife. If that's what you can afford, you can get it. The 50 mm lens, which is this lens, can do anything you actually want it to do. So there are varieties of lenses, and also like depending on the camera you are using. So there are lenses that goes for all camera, and there are lenses that basically are dedicated to cameras. Like a Canon lens is meant for Canon camera, a Nikon lens is meant for Nikon camera. This is a Nikon lens and it's meant for Nikon camera only. So just like that, a Sony lens is meant for a Sony camera, a Fuji lens is meant for a Fuji camera. So it's just like that. There are lenses dedicated to each camera. You can use that lens for that camera, you cannot use that lens for another camera. So if you are using a 50 mm lens, it's going to take pictures of, yeah, you might need a 35 for a wider picture, you might need a 85 for more portrait pictures, but this is perfect for you as a beginner in photography. If you can afford this, you are good. Later when you start anywhere, you can start buying other lenses. So the 85 mm lens, which is this lens, is perfect for your portrait shoot. If you are a portrait photographer, it is advised that you get the 85 mm lens. It is perfect for a portrait shoot. Now, so should you buy a lens because I just said that these are the functions of a lens? No, definitely not. If your style of photography is something that you need the environment, you have to take group pictures and the rest, getting a wide angle lens, I already explained what a wide angle lens is in the beginning of the video, is what you should focus on so that you can get more of your environment and everything. But if you are a duty photographer, you are focusing on taking headshot and the rest, this is a go-to for you. The 85 mm lens is a go-to for you. So before deciding to buy a lens, it shouldn't be because somebody said it on YouTube and you have run to go and buy a lens. Focus and understand what do you need this lens is for. What are you using this lens is for? If you are shooting wedding and you are just starting, you don't have the money to buy all the type of lenses, it is advisable that you get a 50 mm lens. This can cover portrait for you. If you go far away from your subject, you can get groups pictures. So it works for you. A 35 mm lens also work, a 28 mm lens also work, but it's advisable that 50 because you can also take your headshots and beauty shoots. So this is what I just said I should bring to your notice in day 3. So moving on, see you in day 4. Peace out, guys.